Welcome back to our Tune Into Traders Nation. My pleasure to have with us here once again, as always, is Michael Solomon. Michael, welcome to Traders Nation. How are you today?
Hey, good afternoon. How are you doing? It's morning out there. I'm in Florida. I keep thinking afternoon. I'm sorry,
Michael.
Terry.
That's
How are
okay.
you today?
That's okay, Michael. Listen, first off, you've seen him on Fox News, and now he's here with us here today. We do appreciate. Michael saw you. Absolutely fantastic. You're such a handsome man.
Oh, please.
Now, listen, Michael, we want to talk today about acornwatch.org. It's a new website, new organization that you got going. How'd you come up with a name for that?
Well, we were thinking about it. We were kicking it around, and then we realized that Richard Daley Sr. is deceased, and so is Joe Kennedy Sr., and Acorn seems to be becoming a generic term for voter fraud, so we figured, why not?
Oh, man.
I mean, we're not just going after Acorn. I mean,
sure.
Acorn Watch is a group that's going to go after voter fraud all over the country.
Sure.
I mean, anything we find or anything that anybody else finds, we want to know about it.
Right.
And we'll investigate it and try to substantiate it, and if need be,
right,
we'll get it to the proper authorities and let them handle it from there.
Sure. All right. Now, voter fraud is a big problem here in the United States. And let's face it, folks, it is so sacrilegious. It's probably one of the most sacrilegious things here in America is voter fraud, or to commit voter fraud, because of the freedoms and the lives that people have given to protect those freedoms. And it's one of those things that most Americans don't take lightly. But other Americans just don't seem to care about that and will commit voter fraud without blinking an eye. What are your thoughts on that, Michael?
It's amazing that, about 2 years ago we did a survey in Florida alone, in West Palm Beach. We documented about 62 or 63 people that are snowbirds down here, part-timers, and they actually committed voter fraud. Some of them voted by absentee ballot from Northeast, either New York or Chicago or New Jersey. And then they came down here and voted physically, or vice versa. They voted absentee ballot here and voted up there. And unfortunately, the authorities down here, the supervisor of elections in Palm Beach County, has no authority to go after them. He doesn't have any police powers.
Now,
and my theory is, if you just catch one and you fine them $1,000 or whatever, or give them 30 days in jail, it'll stop.
Right.
All
right. Let me ask you something. If some people do have dual residencies from state to states, okay? They have a property in Florida. They have one in New York. Let's use those as examples. But they can they vote locally in each area, but not on a national level? I mean,
no,
is there,
absolutely not.
I don't know the laws, so I need to be educated on this.
You
and
have
how
to
that
choose
works.
what your tax home is. Wherever you file your income tax,
I see.
and that's where you're a full-time resident. That's where you're a resident. And that's where you should be voting.
I see. All right. So there's such a. All right. So we get back to the issue.
You can't
of
come down here and vote for mayor and then go to New York and vote for mayor and say it doesn't affect me in Florida. I mean, you just can't do that.
Yeah. Well, because you own a home, you pay taxes on that home in Florida. You also pay taxes on the home in New York. So you'd think that you would have a say-so.
And if I had a villa in Mexico and another home or an apartment in Vegas or out in Phoenix, I mean, could I vote in 5 or 6 states? You have to pick and choose where you want to live, and that's where you're going to vote.
All right. So this is where then we come back and we say, where is your primary residence versus second home, vacation home, etc. Because that primary residence is the key to where you're legally able to vote. Correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what are you finding with Acorn going on? Multiple states. In fact, it's not just a small incident in one state. We're talking double digits in states. I don't understand how they're able to get away with this, and I don't know if they are. FBI raided Nevada, wasn't it?
I mean, they've got Mickey Mouse and the Dallas Cowboys registered out there to vote. Either they really live there, or they're the greatest identity theft that we know of.
Right. All right.
But I tell you, Kurt, it's clear that the American democratic process is really at risk. I mean, the sanctity of the electorate is at stake, and it's frightening. We've identified 18 states that are tainted by Acorn.
Right.
Now, I mean, there are probably other organizations or other individuals that are committing voter fraud, and we're going to try to seek them out.
Yeah,
but we need everybody's help. We want people to sign up on our website and join in, and anything they suspect, let us know. We'll try to identify it and get it to the proper authorities.
Of course, that website once again is
acornwatch.org.
Okay.
www.acornwatch.org.
All right, and we'll give that out again at the end. All right, so here's the thing, though, is that there is other voter fraud that is going on.
Oh, yeah.
But Acorn seems to have the majority of it. Why? Is it just because of the size of their organization? It's more rampant throughout their organization? What?
Well, it has to do with the size of the organization, and they have a sub-organization that is actually going out there and using their means to what they call get out the vote.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have a problem with you getting out the vote.
I don't either.
And it's certainly, I mean, we want everybody in this country to vote, but we want them to vote once. You know, the old joke about vote early and vote often, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But we want people to be able to vote and vote with total integrity. I mean, we can't, we can't have what's going on here. I mean, this isn't some third world country where.
No, it's not. But listen, let me step in here for a minute, because here is a good point, folks, and you have to realize this. When you start seeing voter fraud on such a mass level that we're seeing, then you start questioning, are these people undermining the very process that Americans endure so much, and that brings close to their heart that the freedoms of as Americans that we are, that these people, do they actually realize that they're undermining the very process of why America is so great?
Well, not only that, Kurt, you know, if somebody gets in and we find out that it may have been fraud or there's a big suspicion of it, what kind of effectiveness is that leader going to have? I mean, who's going to, you know, I mean...
Sure.
Look what happened in Kansas City. They have 40,000 registered voters, and the election officials down there, the election commissioner said that over 85% of them were found to be fraudulent, and they may not even know the extent of it until 2 months after the election. I mean, this is ridiculous. Kansas City may not know their results until 2 months after this election next week. I mean, this is frightening.
We need to really come up with a solid system, and I don't know if that's possible.
You
think with the technology that we have today, huh?
National ID card. You got to go in with a photo ID. Photo ID.
No, there's the pacifists and the liberals out there are screaming, saying, "Listen, why do we need IDs? That's just going to keep people at home, and you're going to be restricting people from voting."
Yeah, well, it's not going to work that way. You know, Joseph Stalin once said, and it's a frightening thought because it's Stalin. He said, "Those who cast the votes decide nothing. Those who count the votes decide everything."
Ah, boy, isn't that the truth?
Think about it. It's a frightening thought.
Wow.
I mean, there's a biblical quote, and it's something that we want to be, and that's it's from Ezekiel, and what it says is that speak to your people and say to them, when I bring the sword upon the land and the people of the land, make a man from among them and make him their watchman. And when he sees the sword coming upon the land, he blows the trumpet and warns the people, and those who ever hear the sound of the trumpet and do not take warning, and the sword comes and takes them away, his blood shall be upon their hands. And basically what we're saying is we want to, Acorn Watch, we want to be that trumpeter, and we want to sound the warning. But if you don't heed the warning, you know, you just don't blame me. I mean, it's frightening. But
all right. Speaking of quotes, recently you had a news guy. I would give her kudos for bringing this question up.
Barbara West.
Barbara West down in Florida.
Yeah.
What
a hero.
Let's go ahead and play that, okay? Barbara West interviewing Biden.
This famous quote, from each according to his abilities, to each according to his needs. That's from Karl Marx. How is Senator Obama not being a Marxist if he intends to spread the wealth around?
Are you joking? Is this a joke?
No.
Or is that a real question?
That's a question.
Now, listen, you heard that. She had the gumption, okay, or she had the guts, I should say, to ask a real question.
She asked the question that Americans want to know the answer to.
That's right. She asked a question that people want to know. And she had a full lineup of questions that people want to know that the Obama-Biden campaign has not been asked by the media. They're not used to it. So naturally, because they're not used to tough questions, he says, "Are you joking? Are you joking?" If I was her, I would have said back, "No,
well,
I am dead serious. This is a real question that people want to know. They don't want to be spoon-fed. You're spun. And listen, answer the question, please."
Let's ask you this: what if the question wasn't about Marx and the economy? What if the question was, Iran just threatened to blow us off the map, and they said they got bombs planted all over the United States and the world?
Yeah.
Can you imagine Biden saying, "Are you kidding?"
Right.
I mean, what are they going to, if they can't take the tough questions now prior to the election, what are they going to do if they're in the White House and they got to stand up in front of the press corps?
Yeah, but they're going to be tested, remember? They're going to test the mettle of Obama.
Right. And you know what? I don't want a leader to get up there and say, I'm going to be tested, and we might not come up to the challenge. That's what he said.
Yeah.
It's frightening. But
and you might not like...
And you know what? When I looked up, she was 100% right, Kurt, because when I looked up Marxism, or Marxist in the dictionary, right alongside of it, the definition was Obama's tax plan.
Yeah, go ahead now, Michael.
I mean, equality doesn't work in this country.
No, and I wonder, is Bush, not Bush's, if McCain's message of Obama's very own words, spreading the wealth, and the socialist undertones that it has, I wonder if it's too late, too little. All right, Michael, again, thanks for being with us here today on Traders Nation. Folks, head on over to acornwatch.org, acornwatch.org. Michael Solomon, folks, do appreciate. Keep an eye out for him here on Traders Nation, Fox, and wherever other fine networks are at. Michael, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Kurt. You have a great day.
Same to you. All right, up next, disclosures, disclaimers, more stocks. We'll be right back.